So, question for you. Like, you've been around the community a long time. I've never heard the backstory, if there is one. Your username has a lot of L's in it. So why does your username have so many L's? Is there a reason? Was your keyboard sticky when you went to make your username? Because there were some crumbs down there, or like what happened?
No, so yeah, it's terrible for SEO. Like if you try to tell someone your Twitch name, you pretty much are forced to give them a link. Um, but what it is I've had so many different names over the years and different games, different consoles, what have you. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stick with Colin. It's my real name. My real name only has one L in it. I'm just gonna keep adding more
Really?
and more L's until it's a new username because people still recognize it despite the 12 L's that are in my Twitch name. People still recognize my name. So
Huh.
in Age of Empires 2, it's 4 L's. I think on Discord it's 6 L's. I just keep adding L's. That's what I tell people. I keep adding L's to make it a unique name and keep adding W's to make it all even out in the end.
So wait, so if someone like let's say there's some like 10-year-old who's making his first online username, his name is Colin right now.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he goes to create a new Colin username, it's like this username's already taken. And he's like, well, let's just add an extra L.
Yeah.
And then he adds one, and that's taken too. You're like fully monopolizing all the Colin names.
But the thing is, I'm only playing Age of Empires 2 and like a few biology games like Wingspan. So for every other game out there, there's still the opportunity for that 11 or
Ah,
12
that's
year
fair.
old.
All right, that's true. I don't think there's going to be many 11 or 12-year-olds playing Age of Empires.
Right.
But who knows, man? I mean, it depends. We've got some people who are having kids, raising their kids with age, so they'll be in that next gen someday.
Mm-hmm.
So just don't name your kids Colin, guys.
Yeah. I mean, there are other Collins who play Age of Empires too, and I get confused for them somewhat often. I'm not necessarily the most prominent. There's definitely other Collins that are more prominent in different communities,
Were,
but
was it you who made the elephant archer flaming camel video when Leary didn't make flaming camels like 4 or 5 years ago in a Red Bull?
yep, exactly. And you brought that up when we met in the Hidden Cup 5 meetup.
Yeah, yep, I do remember that. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, I really wish it's been so long now, so it feels so silly to go back and like really draw more attention to that, but that was such a cool thing. I remember being so pumped you made that because I wanted to see the flaming camels so badly.
Yeah, I mean, flaming camels are just such a niche unit, and I would love to see them actually be used in a game. I think they're probably more likely to show up in a tournament game on just some crazy map that the map scripters are able to come up with these days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
It would be it is their one of their best things to mix in against elephants.
Hmm.
I can only remember it one time recently. I think it was in an arena final between Tato and Winchester. So it did happen. It was Tatars against Khmer, and it worked amazingly well. But you never know. Like that's a video I wish that hundreds of thousands of people would see. But I think it just kind of died off.
Yeah,
People
right. The meta
didn't really
changed,
catch it.
adapted.
So yep, cool. So we're gonna be in here, man. I'll just load in and let's get to it.
Yeah,
And I'll repeat the stakes, of course, as is the norm. So here we are. The next week is going to be full focus on Gold League. This is the final round of Gold. Today we're going to finish Group D. So this is D Day. And then we'll have C and we'll have A Day. And I think I missed one, B. Stone, please. I mean, this is just so fitting for him, right? For those that watched him, he's just been so quick and so crazy with how he plays things. We're only at 5 bills here, and StonePlease already brought in his boar and is already building a lumber camp. So he might have some crazy fast build here with the Mongols. He has 4 wins, and he is essentially competing with Ganji for survival right now. We'll see Ganji later, but StonePlease wins 2. Then SayMyName is out, and we'll talk about that. But then Ganji's going to need to win 2 against Licks to survive. So there's an actual chance that StonePlease stays alive after his first season in gold. And then SayMyName, he needs probably 3 wins. He needs a sweep, and that's his only real solid chance here today to survive and avoid getting relegated. So here we are. We got Colin with me. Colin, sorry for talking so much, dude, but obviously we got to explain the situation here, and we got Acropolis game 1.
of course, yeah, these are really high stakes for both these players. I mean, I just imagine if Ganji goes down to Gold League this season and he's down to Silver League next season, there's still a possibility for that to happen, and I think that would be pretty devastating for him.
Yeah. The thing too is it's not like people might look at a player like Ganji dropping down and understandably think, well, he'll come back through Silver League. But let's really think about how players who have come through Silver League are performing. We had Lewis, who's going to go playoffs. He came through Silver League. We have Sizcon, who might be, I mean, Lewis could be first place too. Sizcon might be first place in his group. He came through Silver League. Um, Unfortunately, a couple of the other names are failing me right now, but players who came through Silver are killers, dude. Like, they've been amazing. So it's not like they're slouches. And so coming back, if anything, Silver League might be a bigger purgatory than Gold League as a pro player.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's a knockout bracket. It's not a full-on league, per se.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I forget that silver is a knockout and that you have to win so many matches just to get a chance to get back in gold. Gold is like, if you're a gold player, you feel a little bit confident, you can have an off day. No, Silver League, there's no second option. You're out, single elimination. And speaking of Syscon, I kind of feel like StonePlease could play like Syscon if he had a little bit more of that strategy. They're both very high APM players. Syscon's mentioned on his French streams how when he was playing against Target in his gold group, his game plan was just out APM my opponent. Target, not a very fast player. And yeah, his strategy was just make it so that Target has to click all over the place. And it's almost like when Viper's playing with his APM limit, you can only click so many times and you have to, reserve those clicks for the important clicks. And once they're all out, you're kind of left with no economy, no military.
Yeah, there's been a lot of instances where super fast players are able to finally get the strategy down, and then they become insane. But there's also quite a few players who have that speed, have maybe the elo, but can't pull the strategy together when it matters most. So that's kind of what the challenge is. StonePlease has had a crazy build here with Mongols. He's up already. He's seemingly going to aim to win this pond from SayMyName. But SayMyName we haven't talked about. SayMyName's been a pro since 2004, dude. He's been a pro for 20 years. And he might not be as up-to-date on the meta in terms of some of the strats and the civ picks, but he's super consistent. He's still around because of his overall ability. And I think what SayMyName doesn't have as much of as StonePlease is the jitters and the nerves, because he's been around forever and he's not committing as much to the game now too. So he's got experience. If he gets knocked out here, it's whatever. He'll play in silver again and have some fun with it. But StonePlease might have this feeling of like, this is everything for me, and it could be good or bad.
Yeah, we're seeing it already being a little bit rough here for StonePlease at the start. The build order looked great, but he didn't see his two sheep in the back now, and SayMyName's getting the snipe on them as the villager tried to get over and collect them late. And he was pulling villagers off the gold, back onto gold, but he's up now, and it looks like it's just going to be a fires opening from him.
Yeah, so, I mean, this will be a nice lead, but there is only 125 food from the deep fish in that pond there. So in terms of the really efficient food eco, it's not going to really be there for StonePlease, but that is going to be a 3-worker lead, and especially helpful after he loses the sheep. He'll now go for the barracks, but he really set this build up heavy on wood and heavy on gold, which is not so typical for the Mongols. So usually the Mongols are going to go heavy on food, but he essentially took a lot of food early, so he was able to then... speaking of taking food, StonePlease is laming right now, Colin.
Yeah, is SayMyName just going to try to take them back, or is he going to try to kill them? Because StonePlease is using that APM. He's making sure that all of those sheep, or at least almost all those sheep, go back with him. So both players not necessarily getting all their sheep. One in the top corner now that SayMyName was able to track down from StonePlease's base.
There's actually a very high chance that those sheep pass each other.
Absolutely.
I've seen this before.
And they're going to just share their experiences. Like, what's the Mongol base like? What's the Berber base like? Oh, about the same.
Yeah, everyone thinks that the other side's better until they have a conversation,
The grass is always greener on the other Acropolis.
So, stable and range opening for SayMyName. Not in love with the lumber camp placement at the bottom of the hill. I just think there's been too many things to manage. And obviously there's no water control for SayMyName. And StonePlease will see the range. Did he see the stable? Yeah, so he sees it's stable and range opening from SayMyName.
I think this makes good sense from SayMyName because it's very difficult to keep up with the Mongol uptime to try to go for both water pressure and land pressure. I think the safer play is just to play land here. But saying that, I find it very difficult to kill fishing ships with land military. They just seem to be able to relocate, and I don't know if StonePlease will go for fish traps, but I don't think it's a terrible play. I don't think he'd add extra fish over the 3 fishing ships he already has, but I think fish traps could still be viable.
Yeah, I think it could be eventually. I think it does depend on how much military count you have out in the field, and we'll see what ends up happening there. Now, StonePlease is sending the army forward, which is typical for him, but it also... This is the perfect time to do so, because the opponent has showed you a range. That's likely for skirms. So you've got a timing you need to utilize with the archers here. And he's going to go aim to do that. SayMyName doesn't see the army, though. And so if that army gets to the wood line or surprises him in any way, could be kind of awkward here.
I felt like whenever StonePlease has had the momentum in his previous sets, he's been in a good position. But I'm not sure he has it here, because the scrims are already prepped here. And both players seem to be ready to just mass up their armies together. Though I don't know about StonePlease's army. It's
kind of interesting, though, right? Because as the villager gets found here, see, a player like StonePlease, who's super fast and super micro-focused, he's going to be thinking, yeah, he has skirms, but I have fletching, right? And that fletching upgrade is going to be like a real positive for him. But I like how relaxed SayMyName has been at the moment. He also is going to make some fires, so he's making things pretty awkward here. And I think they're both going to end up losing a fire.
Did the skirm finish off the fire? Oh yeah, the skirm got the fire kill. Impressive. Yeah, I like this delay of building the fires here for SayMyName. I think having land military first makes a lot of sense, while playing very safe and building the tower as well on his wood line. He lost sight of those archers, and he wants to make sure they don't ramp back around and damage him.
Honestly, if the skirms come over again, he could guarantee that he wins the fire ship situation and maybe kills the fish. Yeah. I think it's also good to force your opponent into another fire here. Even if you don't end up getting the kill on the fish, I think this is 50-50. What? Oh, man. Yeah, it could still be a positive. Sorry, there's so much happening.
That's a surprise. I thought the fires would kill each other because I feel like the projectiles just stay in the air for a little bit.
Yeah, I thought so too. The skirm might come finish the job, but if the skirms were here moments before,
right,
then SayMyName would maybe have killed a fishing ship there. But that's just the classic. Skirms kill the fire, but we're able to focus on those tiny details. But SayMyName can't double check small amounts of HP. And look at the army from StonePlease. He's going to go archers and scouts. This is crazy.
Yeah, both players are starting to wall up their base a little bit more, but both players' bases are still very, very open. Scouts are trying to find a way in StonePlease's base, but they come across 2 spears that are there in safety. And these skirms have just been very defensive here for SayMyName, which is a little bit surprising to me.
It's good. I mean, now that there's scouts on the field, he's got an idea that he can't move out. And the tower is really good for him because the scouts can't necessarily push. So where he sit his skirms is actually perfect. You could still use the skirms against the archers as long as you have the safety of your town center. Now, that skirm goes down immediately because StonePlease is a maniac. And now StonePlease is going for more scouts behind this, and he's going for forging. So this could be full feudal. He knows he needs wins. If he doesn't get the wins, he's relegated. So he's going to go out swinging here. And man, what crazy army production. Even a 7th scout in queue. All this army just headed forward right now.
Yeah, and SayMyName's trying to pull his scouts back, trying to get bloodlines for them. But I think this really works for StonePlease's type of play he likes to enjoy. Just put on the pressure. Have good scouting of your opponent's base because you're spending all your time inside of your opponent's base. You know what their follow-up's going to be. And yeah, it seems like comfortable for StonePlease. So now...
Go ahead.
his archers, okay, the scouts were able to push the skirmishers out of position. I was going to say, his archers were kind of getting closed in there on the backside of the Acropolis.
Yeah, this is going to be... We're going to see a lot more army here. This could go either way. The scouts are pretty strong for SayMyName. He didn't have fletching before for those skirms. Now he does. Bloodlines is on the way for StonePlease. He's way ahead in res collected. but his wood situation's kind of rough on his hill. So that's something that he doesn't have. He doesn't have the lower wood control. And Berbers as well. We haven't really didn't have any time to touch on this, but Berbers are incredible against the Mongols in Castle Age. If you can just stay alive till Castle Age, the cheap camels and knights is just perfect against what the Mongols want to do.
Right. And then once we get into late game, it can kind of get iffy. It kind of depends on who has the momentum. If Mongols are able to get on their siege, then Berbers might have a slightly harder time despite the camel archers dealing fairly well.
Man, one misclick from SayMyName and he loses almost all of his skirms. That was brutal.
That
I think he
surround
went
was
to the
perfect.
blacksmith to get an upgrade or something, but yikes. Hate to see that, dude.
Yeah, StonePlease is being smart. He's pulling back his army before he gets his eco upgrades, getting horse color now. And, I mean, this is the perfect time for him to move down to the lower wood line. But I guess he's towered already at the top, and he might be hesitant to move outside of his tower. Safety of his tower.
This is where a platinum player would look at this situation and say, I've got the better army. He has to overproduce. I'm going to go Castle Age and stop producing. But I think StonePlease, his skill set is to just keep the foot on the gas. And at this level with the moment where he needs wins, I think it's better for him to keep the foot on the gas here. So that's what he's going to do. It's crazy. The archer range in the stable's always producing something. He's always sending army. And he'll be up to 11 scouts for SayMyName's 11 scouts in a moment.
And I thought these villas were going to be coming down from the Acropolis to build a lumber camp, but I think we might have a tower in the works here. He just forgot that he doesn't have the stone for it because he built a tower earlier, so I'm guessing there's a market being put up somewhere? No, we don't see a market.
Oh man, this fight's not even going to be close. The Archer Micro is insane from StonePlease behind this. There are good scout upgrades for SayMyName, but he just doesn't have the skirms. And so StonePlease gets what he desires. He gets the army clear up. And now this is where you could go to that wood line. Before, the tower was a problem, but one tower is not enough to discourage all this army now.
Right, only 5 villagers can sit in there. I think the archers can also sit right underneath the tower. And it looks like he's going for it. He's thinking about it.
Is he going to bring the Vills? Is he bringing the Vills against the tower right now? Because they can't build their own tower, so they're just going to fight now?
That's what it seems like. I haven't seen this before.
Dude, this is so StonePlease. This is everything about this is StonePlease. This is what he brings to the table. He brings to the table aggression, and then on top of that, a little bit more aggression. And the Vills are going to make it there. Most of the army that SayMyName had is going to go down. And the archers are still there. That's just too many archers to deal with. You can't stop that amount of archers if you're SayMyName, and that means you'll lose every single Vill here.
He's trying to repair the tower, but I think it's a little bit too late. Somebody, I guess, no, there's still archers there. The Vills can't come out safely and try to repair. He's also on the way up to Castle.
On the way to Castle Age. Yeah. Crazy. Crazy to come in here, need wins, or you're going to be kicked out and play a game like this, man. I mean, from the start, the build has been impressive. Now, he is going to lose these Vills, maybe. SayMyName keeps the tower up. This is maybe a situation why this is also an example why you don't want to YOLO everything under a tower, especially with 4 Vills. But being in Castle Age way faster should still be amazing for him here.
Right. I think it's going to be CA as the follow-up for him. He's adding extra ranges. And yeah, I think initially he wanted to bring the Vills forward to build a tower, realized he didn't have the stone, realized he didn't have the wood maybe for a market to buy the stone, and he just improvised. And that's what
also,
I was saying.
He built a farm here, for those wondering why he did this, because when you have resources in your hand and you build a farm with Vills, you then bank those resources in the bank. So he dropped 60 wood farm to get that whole deer. So we got 140 food, basically. And he had never had any interest in coming back to that farm. That's probably why the Vills wanted to die. They didn't want to work there. I mean,
they're like, these are terrible working conditions. I just want to go and fight. I'd rather be a knight.
Well, first game of the series. SayMyName needs wins or he's out. It's even more important for him to get victories for survival. And we've got Crossbow, Bodkin in for SayMyName. Or sorry, for StonePlease. There's scouts, there's spears. It's not the biggest army, but it is just making life so awkward for SayMyName at the moment.
Yeah, 14 to
They'll
4
clear it.
eco KD, but yeah, this is not looking too pretty. He hasn't, I mean, he completely lost that mass, so it has kind of slowed down his momentum coming into Castle Age. He was getting crossbow for like what, 4 crossbowmen?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
definitely what he wants as the follow-up. Arguably, Cav Archers would work a little bit better. He could use all of his APM to just micro them in a bunch of different spots. Force SayMyName to have crazy idle time on his villagers as he constantly chases 1 crossbow and 1 spear.
Like, this is just crazy, dude. He's just still microing that, still paying attention to it. Look at him even dodge the skirm there. His micro is just ridiculous. The downside, though, I'll say, like, if he throws tiny groups of armies here, Berbers with Knight Camel have the potential to come back. So he's gotta be careful. But he has his own camels on the front. He's still got armies surrounding. He's 10 vills up. It's still so brutal for SayMyName.
Yeah, I really don't see what SayMyName wants to do in this position. I think it is just keep spamming knights, drop a monastery to try to get some conversions. But it's such a messy eco.
And this is where StonePlease needs to chill. He needs to breathe and add that economy. Finally drops the TC at the bottom. I'd love to see that for him. And that'll give him some great wood control, which he hasn't really had the whole game. And all of a sudden, he was at 3 crossbows before. Now he's up to 13 again. Still has 3 more in queue. And he's got a massive army of camels on the front. This is crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's like you said. He just doesn't let those archery ranges or those stables go idle. He has to constantly produce.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to check his ranges. Capture Age tells you. His 2 ranges have been producing 88% of the time. 88% of the time since they've existed. And one of those ranges existed since early feudal. That's ridiculous. That is not something you'd see even with some of the very top players in Platinum, honestly. They probably would have stopped production at some point, opted for more eco. But
yeah, and the stables are
StonePlease,
almost exactly the same, like 80-90%. And he's even dropping a university now, probably 4 ballistics to snipe all these villagers who are just trying to have a nice time farming. But yeah, that's not in the cards for them, unfortunately.
It is kind of funny. Like, I think if StonePlease just went to that wood line, this game is over. But he hasn't. I guess there's bad memories there because those 4 villagers were important to him or something. But this is still a good position to get to. The crossbows are behind. The camels are in front. And I don't think SayMyName has enough to deal with that. That is way too much firepower for StonePlease. He'll shred the camels from the enemy. The crossbows will still survive. And that was just everything SayMyName had left in the tank.
Yeah, SayMyName did a good job microing the monk at the beginning there. He was dodging the crossbowmen who were trying to get around the units. But now the crossbowmen took a little breather behind the wood line. And I don't think SayMyName's going to be back on gold anytime soon. He's trying to just long distance them now.
I think there might be very slight odds. Maybe someone in chat can remind us. I think there's very slight odds that if SayMyName were to win 2-1, let's say, so he drops a game, that he could still survive. But I think they're like super slight. So I think we're seeing him play on right now because he knows, like, I needed the 3-0 today. And he's just super far behind right now.
He refreshed the lumber camp down under the Acropolis right as the crossbowmen showed up. Ballistics is halfway in. Yeah, he's in such a rough position.
Yeah, the speed and the aggression from StonePlease is working perfectly. So he wins this. It's going to be 5 total wins. He'll aim for more. What a great start, dude. And you feel this as a player as well. Not that I've ever felt this type of domination myself. But when you do win the first game quite convincingly and you've had control the whole time, that carries with you. You're just like, oh yeah, I could do that again. And on the other side, SayMyName's got to be sitting here like, oh my goodness, how am I supposed to beat this guy today? Like, I brought my best, and it was just not enough.
Yes, I mean, StonePlease, though, at the same time, must be thinking, like, what else do I have to do to beat this guy? Why is he still playing on? Is he fish booming on some other lake I didn't know about on the map or something?
Yeah.
I mean, the score definitely tells the story. He even sending a camel out on the far right side of the map, I guess, just to see if there's anything else out there behind his base.
Yeah, that's true. I can't wait to look at the APM between these two. Knowing what I know about StonePlease, because he's top 5 in the world in terms of speed, which surprises a lot of people. I think this is going to end up being like triple. And then honestly, sometimes you look at the number, you can't really tell the difference because those numbers are a little deceiving at times with how capture age works. But here, it's just been clear. how much faster StonePlease is.
Yeah, he's been on top of every single fight. It's just the decision on whether he should take a fight is sometimes a little bit iffy. But when he has
Yeah, yeah,
numbers
yeah.
like this, I mean, he'll win any fight he takes. And
Yep.
he was in a very similar situation on Acropolis when he was playing against Lewis, where he just kept making army. But I think Lewis is a player who's very comfortable playing defensive, getting to castle age a little bit earlier, and going into the boom.
Ooh.
That was
Yeah, that could have been nasty, but in the end, there's still no armor for SayMyName, and I think this is what StonePlease has been thinking. He's like, the only way I lose the game is if I lose my army, and there's no way he can win without lower wood control. And so he just found that lumber camp, sees the army. Maybe our last fight of the game here. StonePlease will think, if I have +2 armor, maybe I can do it. Or sorry, rather SayMyName. But even with the hill, I don't think you're winning this fight. There's so many camels and crossbowmen here, you just can't compete.
Yeah, the knights are thinking about diving on the crossbows while the camels sit behind for SayMyName. And yeah, SayMyName is trying to get little picks off, comes back to the monk now to try to get a conversion. But StonePlease is so fast to turn away from that conversion.
And look how fast he got devotion as well. Like, I swear, the monk started to convert, and half a second later, devotion gets clicked.
Yeah, I can never imagine doing that while playing. Like,
Yeah,
while
like,
microing my units.
exactly. Like, I'd click my units away. I'd think about it a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I can get it. But that was, like, immediately. And, oh, man, still SayMyName fights on. Oh, dude, I mean, I don't know if you expected to have to be this creative while casting with me, but we really got to come up with creative ways to call this now, because this poor guy's dead.
Yeah,
He's out of gold now.
The 2 villager TC on the left side next to 2 new StonePlease's TCs is very, very funny. I think StonePlease is like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep making units and keep making military and treat this as a warm-up game. It's clear that SayMyName's treating this as a warm-up game.
Yeah. Tower will get shredded. He sees all the knights now. And this is the hope of the Berbers, is to spam those stable units. But when the Mongol player actually has more stable units than you, you know you're in a bad spot. And again, the micro is fantastic from StonePlease. He gets the crossbowman behind, the camels in front, and finally, SayMyName calls the GG. Yeah, so the peak APM for StonePlease was 492 at one point. The average was like average for his military APM 166. This is for reference. This is higher than all the top names in Platinum that you could think of. This is higher than Viper. This is higher than Hera. This is higher than all those names. He's I got to pull up the stats, but he's definitely like top 3 in the world with it, and he showed it here, Colin. It was super strong play from him.
Yeah, I imagine he has just hotkeys for every little thing, like devotion, sanctity, fishing ships is the normal one. I'm thinking, like, what's the most random thing you could have a hotkey for?
Well,
I'm sure he
I
has
think
it.
a lot of that is honestly just his army control. A lot of that's that. And you can tell in the way he sets up his game, like he really is looking at his military at almost all times. If you look at the eco count, they've adjusted their eco at similar rates of speed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just 3 times as many clicks, 3 times as many move with the military. And I guess it also helps when you produce so many, dude. Like he produced 62 crossbowmen and 31 camels and 15 light cav this game. He produced so much army.
Yeah, the
So,
62 crossbows
beautiful.
really what stands out to me. Like those ranges were just churning out crossbowmen and archers throughout the entire game. Very well done there.
Okay. So, scores 1-0. And what I'm going to do in between games is I'm going to pull up my stats page and put the live results, because that's what this final week is really all about. So with that, StonePlease has a 50% chance at survival. Again, it will depend on what happens with Ganji Licks later today. But if he can keep this up, heavy pressure on Ganji. He's going to have to beat Licks potentially in his final series, or he's out. So Kilimanjaro, I think we might have a sneaky fish boom. Am I crazy to expect that when I see these civilizations coming up?
I mean, Malay, that's what you have to expect, right?
Now you covered a decent amount. You covered silver,
Mm-hmm.
where you saw StonePlease, but then you also covered some gold, I believe. Did we see Malay fish trap boom from StonePlease before? I don't recall hearing about it.
No, I don't know. how many Kilimanjaro games I've seen from him. Who was it that I was seeing fish trap booming on Kilimanjaro? Who? I think you
Um,
were casting and you were
Andy
saying,
Andy did it in platinum.
oh, that's what it was, right?
Yeah, and Andy did it in platinum, but I don't know if there's been any other trends there, honestly.
I can't remember if whether he was successful or not with that.
It was successful. He had to get some walls down, and he was also playing with the Chinese, but it wasn't the Malay. So we'll see. But it's confirmed Say My Name is out, regardless of what happens now. There's still $20 per victory to fight for. He's gone for the Khmer, which is your more traditional pick. Typically, we see a lot of scouts on this map. Malay are, I mean, they can open scouts, but it's not your best stable civ unless you want to get into elephants or something. Um, so I'm just wondering if maybe StonePlease had picked the Malay to build a dock.
But his
Could be.
pond looks so bad. The position where he'd build the pond, right in the
Yeah.
front of his base,
Yeah.
he might be rethinking that in a moment once he sees that, once he scouts that.
Yeah. I mean, you can also pick the Malay. What did he play the previous game with? He played Spearman and Archer. That's great for Malay. And then you also still will have a villager lead if you don't take damage because of advancing so fast. So it's not like you have to play with the dock here. You can still play with the timing.
StonePlease's board lore had me a little bit worried there. He used the house to slow down the elephant, but then he did what I consider a very unconventional board lore with villagers hopping in and out while the TC shoots.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah,
definitely seems like he has the nerves.
The trend for him, though, is he likes to bring that in right away. The previous game, he did it with Mongols. And he, obviously, that made a little bit more sense here, but yeah, he brings that in, man. I just got to say, like, it's so great how many people are like, who is this player, right? Who are these people? Say My Name's been seen if you've watched tournaments on and off for the last 10 years, right? But, like, this is what Gold League and then, of course, Silver League, which I tried to put a lot of focus on, is all about, guys. We've got a lot of competitive players out there, and what they've been missing is they've been missing opportunities because realistically what happens for a player here in most other events is they lose in the second round to a top 16 name. Then they get discouraged. They're like, oh, like, holy crap, I suck. And then they get like next to no prize pool. And then they're just stuck and no one sees them and no one knows them and no one gets to really see how talented they are. StonePlease deserves this recognition he's getting right now.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at these players' Wikipedia profile, you see that they'll have like, okay, they lost in the qualifiers for some big event, and that's pretty much all you see from them. That you see who they lost to. Usually it's a sweep. You don't know how much experience they're actually getting out of that to improve in these tournament settings. But yeah, salutes to T90 guys in chat for being able to put together such an event that has what I consider some of the most fun maps, and especially getting to see the maps and the meta evolve over a series of weeks, both in Gold League and in Platinum. It's so much fun as a viewer.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I think the other trend that's been really good the last 2 years is in those qualifiers you mentioned, even if the players aren't making it, there's actually money involved. Whereas like 3 years ago, there was next to no money in qualifiers, so people weren't incentivized to train because they were expected to lose in the first and second round. So I actually think we can go a bit further with that in the community. If we're having all these big LAN events, I personally think that there should be a slightly higher percentage in all the qualifiers. But that's a whole podcast conversation.
And I've
We
heard
don't need
you
to do
talk
that.
about that in the podcast, and I completely agree. I mean, it's crazy to listen to people in podcasts and agree completely with everything they have to say. But I feel like the Age of Empires 2 community is so mature. I mean, this is obviously my take. I'm not trying to make this a circle jerk. But yeah, my take is that everyone's very, very mature. Everyone's thinking very progressively about the scene, and they're working together just to make it as positive as possible.
You hear that, chat? He just called you mature. Wow, you don't hear that every day. You don't hear that every day.
For certain viewers, I'm not saying every caster's viewers are very mature.
You're only able to call them mature because we don't have Zong in the map pool right now.
Right,
okay,
exactly.
Because if that was drafted as a home map, I guarantee you people wouldn't be looking so mature. So, Say My Name's gonna click up. He was really fighting with this zebra, and he will push in the zebra. I would expect that he will go scouts. We didn't end up having a dock from StonePlease. I don't think he'll do that now. And again, you could still go scouts with the melee. You're still going to have a clean eco. Adding the spearman out still feels super smooth. So I think that's probably what StonePlease is going to opt to do here.
Yeah, and StonePlease has gone off to a different corner to scout first. And it feels like SayMyName might just be going straight across the map to try to find each other's base, as most of their scouts have been spending the time in Dark Age pushing those Zebra to the town center.
Yeah, I think it's funny. You see a map that's super open, you expect, oh, you need to scout to find the opponent's open map. In actuality, what happens, they're like, this is going to be rough for me. So I'm going to get every ounce of food I can before this gets painful. And I'm going to, because I know my opponent's base is going to be exposed, I don't actually need to scout it early. I think the exception would be if it's man-at-arms, because then you need to know where to hit. But with these builds, the scouts always come out a little late.
Yeah, I feel like back earlier in the meta, I'm thinking like back in 2020, when I think elephants and rhinos weren't really in the game yet. I think it was just boars on Kilimanjaro. I might be wrong there. But you really didn't have that much food in the early game on Kilimanjaro. So it felt like you really had to push in every single last zebra.
So a tiny tweak that was made as well to give you a little bit more food since then. So the first time I ever used this in a tournament, the two shorefish, they were always two shorefish, but sometimes they'd be on separate ponds, and sometimes they would be on one. And so it got to the level where players were like, yo, what gives? He can build a mill on 400 food. I can't justify building a mill on 200. So we've made that standardized now, and that you can see StonePlease is utilized, and that helps a lot in getting some extra food.
Yeah, that's absolutely really big. And it looks like both players have found each other's bases, or, okay, StonePlease is about to find the stable. He confirms that it is scouts coming out for SayMyName, and I think he'll be relieved to see that there is no dock. He doesn't have to worry about a fish boom. Though, I don't know if SayMyName knows about fish booming. Like, I don't know how in the community he is.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised. I mean, time zone isn't great for him to be able to watch a lot of these games unless he's on Age of Empires time zone, which I don't think he is hugely these days. And I mean, SayMyName's playing the game a lot, but he's just vibing, man. Like he'll just play some team games and just call it a day. So I think he's at that stage of his career, and that is maybe why. Maybe next time when he comes through, like maybe he thought that I could be fine in gold. I don't need to train. I don't need to practice. I don't need to look at Rex. Now he's relegated. So if he competes next time, maybe that'll be an adjustment he has to make to just know a little bit more. But we're saying that because there could have been a fish boom. He didn't see a fish boom. There isn't a fish boom. So it's not like he needed that knowledge here.
Right, yeah. The fact that he didn't scout super early didn't really change his game plan. He's just building, using the build that he's built, I don't know how many times, scouts into archers, which makes a lot of sense with the Khmer, since you generally want to skip that stable, and archers will be your counter for any spears your opponent makes. Though, given the long rush distance here, I don't know how functional those archers will be. Everyone's been pretty passive with their scouts so far.
Yeah, I think as long as you're able to track your opponent's scouts, you should be able to move out, but not being able to have a spearman or two to protect your archers is always kind of awkward in this scenario. So I think what SayMyName is going to want is probably just to wall first, just so the scouts can't counterattack. Wait till you get like 4 archers at least, and then you could combine the scouts and the archers together.
Yeah, and I think melee works somewhat well here because you have that opportunity to wall off in the early game, and you can make the most of that extra villager or extra 2 villagers he has because of SayMyName's idle time on his TC. You're pretty safe in the early game.
Though, like, Mongols was a fantastic pick from StonePlease, and he really utilized it in the previous game because he had like an 800 or 900 resource lead at this stage of the game. Now you can tell the civs are slightly more even, and SayMyName seems to be in pretty good shape. So it was spotted by StonePlease. StonePlease knows it's archers. I think that's why StonePlease is going double range now, because he's thinking his opponent's going to have more archers, so he needs more. And then SayMyName sees the double range. So really good awareness and scouting from both of these two.
The double range does surprise me a little bit, because I was just saying it's a long rush distance. I mean, the range will help you later, but given what we know about StonePlease and that he likes to keep those ranges working constantly,
yeah,
as both players get fletching, I'm a little bit worried that this might push his castle age time too far back, and he won't actually make the most out of these archers as he's producing them.
I mean, I definitely see the worry, but anytime there's any type of concern with staying in one age too long and you're melee, you could just forget about it. You're
True.
just like, oh, well, okay, well, actually, I have that whole bonus that just completely bails me out. So I think you're right. I think we'll see a later click up from StonePlease, but it may actually end up being pretty similar castle times because of that.
Yep, and he confirms that the archers are there, so quick to pull the scouts back to avoid taking any damage. And he has a pretty comfortable farming economy behind, but it does look like our Khmer player is going to be up faster with those faster working Khmer farmers.
So I think like melee, if they don't use those timings, they do feel relatively awkward on this map. This is a map where that mobility really tends to matter. So I prefer the Khmer. Also, it can be very messy. So a lot of times you're relocating eco, and you would benefit hugely from that if you're Khmer. So I think SayMyName's going to be okay with how this game is going. He's falling back with his archers. He's seeing the numbers from StonePlease. Seems like he's about to click up, but holy crap, man. Like, once StonePlease is ready, you can just tell. His armies never move backwards. Well, now they are, but there he goes. Marching forward once again.
Yeah, I think what's great for him is to be able to keep track of SayMyName's army, keep them in sight, because he should feel confident that he's the better player in terms of micro, in terms of APM.
Yeah, especially after the first game. But SayMyName gets a pick there, and he might get another archer pick there. Interesting, he actually tossed away some scouts for that. I think there's an argument to be made if this is going to be archer v archer that to do that again. But that one wasn't intentional.
No. Yeah, you can see that when he looks away for a second, his army seems to just go forward. I haven't really seen as much stand ground on scouts in Gold League as I have in Platinum. I don't know if that's one of those small differences that changes as players go up in leagues. That they'll, I mean, I often see players just pull back their army when they look back at their base to make sure they're safe. But maybe stand ground is one of those things, or maybe it's just personal preference.
It's because SayMyName has been playing the game for 20 years. he's not using stand ground as much, man. And StonePlease is. You can tell StonePlease is because the way his units group, and he'll switch off that every now and then. So castle age times will be similar. The scouts go down for SayMyName. StonePlease is looking to pounce on this, but SayMyName will still get the upgrades a little bit faster here. So a bit awkward. He's hoping to reinforce with the archers behind. And there's more army from his opponent to run into. But the original army is still kind of headed to threatening areas right now.
Yeah, his base is fairly safe, at least from archers. The archers would have to run under the town center. StonePlease's town center to do much damage. And I think StonePlease will be okay until he reaches Castle Age. I don't see, like, there's too many areas that are exposed that SayMyName will be able to pounce on.
The golds they're both taking are the only golds within their walls right now. And StonePlease is taking a 3 tile, so he'll run out a little bit faster. The 4 tiles on the front. So moving out is key, and usually moving out to the center hill is everything on Kilimanjaro. So keep an eye on that. StonePlease is not going to be able to defend these crossbows. He's actually just going to tower. And instead of chasing down these crossbows with army, he's going to take the middle now. So I think SayMyName is currently expecting a response from StonePlease's military. But when you see the tower, you kind of go, oh, wait. If I can't do damage to him, he must be coming to my base. And look at him drop some houses. Drop the palisades. It feels like he knows.
That palisade gate is very weak. StonePlease has the hill advantage with his crossbows. He's microing them forward perfectly as he takes out the palisade gate. And all of SayMyName's villagers have to run back to the town center. As you mentioned, he's going to be no gold gaming. Is getting the armor, but doesn't have any skirms whatsoever. Really any armor.
That gate will do nothing. And this is StonePlease we're talking about. Like he senses a single opportunity to be able to get some damage, and he's gonna pounce on it. And that's exactly what he does.
He sees one villager running away.
Everything home now.
Oh, he doesn't chase the villagers.
Oh, interesting. You know, if SayMyName can skip ballistics here, even though he's not as good with the micro as StonePlease, he could clear this up. And if he doesn't lose too much, this could end up being okay.
Yeah, as you say that, StonePlease also getting ballistics. They both recognize that when in an archer or crossbow versus crossbow matchup, this is really what will turn the tide of the battle. And I think this is a great opportunity as well for StonePlease to go onto Stone if he's thinking of TCs behind this, but getting his eco upgrades, or he's thinking about
There
it.
are some crossbows on the gold, so that's good from StonePlease. I'm very curious to see this because the upgrades are in faster for SayMyName. So we've got like a player who's been playing for 20 years who gets ballistics faster versus a player who's been super active the last 5 and is super speedy. Who wins the micro battle? Is it going to be StonePlease or is it going to be SayMyName? I think you have your answer right now. StonePlease looks so much more comfortable in this scenario, and he's out microing SayMyName. And the speed, again, just adding up. The crossbows are still on the front, still on the gold. SayMyName cannot keep up. And this is enough damage that could just end this one, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he looks so dominant here with the countering ballistics, which I know people in the community have mixed feelings about. It just feels silly to them. SayMyName doing a good job hopping into that Khmer house. We haven't seen that pop in yet in this matchup. And StonePlease, sorry, has Elite Skirm as well in front of SayMyName's base, making sure he can't leave his base and come forward with a counterattack.
So, I mean, you mentioned earlier how StonePlease could improve. He's clearly got the speed, and it just comes down to if the strategy is going to be there. And I got to say that the game sense to go tower defense is what opened up this opportunity. He's only in SayMyName's base right now because he went tower defense, counterattack. Had he just chased, he would be the one defensive. SayMyName wouldn't have had these problems. And this is so brutal for SayMyName. He will clear up the army in the back, but he's losing everything on the front. He's lost 9 villagers now. The TC number 2 is coming up for StonePlease. Siege in the middle coming up for StonePlease. And guys, reminder that Ganji, a former Platinum player, is playing later today. He is essentially hoping to survive in competition with StonePlease. And StonePlease is stacking up the wins right now, Colin. He's stacking them up.
Yeah, I mean, he was microwing just 2 skirms at the front of SayMyName's base. Like, he's feeling so comfortable here. He's dropping his second town center near his base. SayMyName actually putting what looks like a farm TC out there. It's just because the hill terrain. He's trying to get as close as possible to those wood lines. And he's even comfortable microing right next to a siege workshop.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if he realizes you can't make siege, bro.
You don't have the eco for that. Yeah.
I also, even if his opponent had the gold, I think he runs through anyways because he can't help himself.
Yeah.
He just can't help himself.
He wants
the type
to
of player he is.
see everything that's going on in his opponent's base so he can react to it before it becomes an issue.
And there's always a follow-up. As we said before, this is so impressive. So impressive from StonePlease. This is why everyone's so hyped about him. This is why actually I was surprised he only had 4 wins at this point coming into this round. I thought he would do a bit better, but I think nerves got to him and he didn't have his best sets at times. But I'm running out of ideas here, Colin, on what SayMyName can do.
I mean, he's at 8 army now. He finally found something to build in his siege workshop. It's just a scorpion. And yeah, he's so limited. I mean, he would have to bring that crossbow army all of the way across the map, have StonePlease not react whatsoever to the crossbows taking out his villagers, and they would have to take out probably 20 villagers by the time they arrive to even the vill count, let alone give him an advantage.
But StonePlease knows that those crossbows are out there somewhere. He knows he didn't kill them. So he's kind of been scouting around with skirms looking for them. He'll find them. That should be tracked. And he's still siege pushing on the hill. This is super well played. Now, I'm curious to see how he micros the skirms in the back. He's got 4 different groups right now. But here he is, still microing the skirms against the scorpions, still hoping to get the kills. He actually takes the repairville there.
Yeah, it's really smart just to target the repairville because you're going to do more damage to the vill than you are to the scorpion with all its pierce armor. And the crossbows are showing up at his town center, but I think they're going to be short-lived.
Yeah, that's brutal. That was the best way to come back, though. That right there. You counterattack with the crossbows because they don't help you at home, and you use the siege in defense. The problem is, I mean, the siege really should be pushing the TC, and the second the siege starts to push this TC, you've got no wood and gold. Like, this is just a brutal situation. We do have knights, actually. Hold on. Knights with no armor, but they are there.
They do have the hill as well, so maybe that can make the difference. I think this Mangonel goes down.
It would have to go down to the next knight, and SayMyName's so busy right now. He's losing his ranges. He's lost his blacksmith, so he can't actually get armor. And unfortunately, just doesn't know the Mangonel is off in the distance now. How is Ganji feeling right now?
Right.
I would love to know Ganji's feelings at the moment, because he's gonna have to get. I think if even if it's just a 2-1 for StonePlease, I think he has to get 3 wins. I have to double check.
Ganji would need to get at least a 2-1. He has to at least match StonePlease.
He has to match StonePlease. Yeah, got it. Okay. Yeah, which, I mean, it would be massive for Ganji's chances if SayMyName can bring this one back, which seems unlikely, but win the next game at least.
But this is SayMyName's home map, so we'll have to see what he can do on Evacuation. Evacuation has been his home map in previous rounds of this group.
Yep.
So you would think that he's somewhat familiar with it.
Yeah, I thought he played really good on Evacuation, so I'm not too worried about that, but I'm worried for the mentals. When you know you're relegated and your opponent has just been this dominant against you every single time, it's probably going to be hard to bring your best effort to the final game.
Yeah, SayMyName's trying. He's trying to bring those knights back around, trying to go for another counterattack. There are monks there for StonePlease. StonePlease even got pikemen just because he could. And yeah, he's tracking those knights so well. Already has monks queuing conversions against them.
Yeah, amazing awareness. Just amazing play here from StonePlease. Some of the best he's played all season. Saved now. It's funny because I think I was only able to personally cover his first set and now his last set. And if you were to just look at these sets, you'd be like, this guy's going platinum.
Right, absolutely. His first set against Caspa looked so good. Even the game that he dropped when he was going for the FC Ratha play that Fosru was practicing with him. That still looked like it had potential. He tried it again against
Lewis.
He won.
I know he did it against Lewis, and I think he got a win there.
Yeah, and then he did it with someone else before that, but I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, Kasva, Lewis. He might have tried it every series, honestly, because no one's been wasting bans on Bengalis.
Right.
This is similar to the first game now. Again, it's a big lead for StonePlease. I think it's a little harder for him to finish off the game with the melee because they don't have super strong stable units, but he's going to go knights anyways because he feels he needs them against the Scorpions. And it could do the job.
Yeah, just try to get into a Mangonel fight or a siege fight can always be tricky when your opponent has knights and can make Mangonels of their own. We'll have the hill advantage, though.
Yeah, and it could be a forward castle, but you also could very easily justify a castle on the hill just to secure the golds. That'd be the safe play here. But StonePlease strikes me as an unsafe type of guy.
Yeah, he has the castle set up on the top of the hill for the moment, but he's also taking a fight, and maybe this fight will determine, okay, he's going to settle with on top of the hill.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing I could suggest to him as a player, sometimes he just needs to take the safe route. So that's more of that would probably help his career, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know how safe this castle is with the knights showing up finally. There are monks there. 2 monks ready for conversions. And he hasn't noticed quite yet.
The Mangonel is going to take out Scorpions. There's monks here to convert. There's pikes. There's crossbows. The monks also convert the knights from SayMyName, so that's not enough to deny the castle. And StonePlease will win the fight in both areas. StonePlease is on the way to him. And StonePlease...
Did you see that Mangonel shot on the knights to finish them up on the top of the hill?
I think it was on screen for people, but I actually didn't see it.
It was
I assume it was
impressive.
A dirty attack
It
round.
was so dirty. It was like, I don't even need to do this, but I will anyways because I can. It's a clearly a get out of my game attack ground.
And that's exactly what happens. GG. Wow. So StonePlease up to 6 wins. We will have that final game. Again, $20 per victory regardless. That's what SayMyName will be fighting for. But StonePlease looking like a beast. And the final game is on his home map, Evacuation, which is like an absolute nightmare to play. I love the map. It's one of the favorite maps we've ever worked on and created, but playing it's brutal, dude.
Yeah, I've never
And
played it, but I've seen people try to play it in so many different ways, and this is what I love about TTL. And shout outs to Hank and you for, brainstorming the map together, because it is so much fun to watch all the different strategies that people come up with.
so the peak APM in the first game, according to Capture Age, was 498 for StonePlease. That was apparently a warm up. His peak APM this game was 648 at a certain point, which obviously incorporated some micros. So, Say My Name's not slow, guys. Say My Name is on par with lots of people in that top 100. But Stone Please is just clicking all the time, and he makes it so clear, dude. He's truly amazing. Like I'm on the fanboy hype train. It's a shame that he can't make it to platinum because I'd be rooting for him there, but I want him to survive in gold right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Same. I think he's done really well, and I think this is a great opportunity for him to figure out his strategies, and that's what TTL is all about, to try strategies against top players on these maps that aren't just Arabia on the ranked ladder, where your strategy matters a little bit more. One player who's very certain about the strategy on Evacuation, at least after his 3-0 victory, was Siscon. And he was adamant that you just open Man-at-Arms into archers. You don't have to scout what your opponent's doing, because you can put up enough pressure with Man-at-Arm and archers that you have the momentum. You're forcing a reaction, and your opponent doesn't have enough economy to do anything else with their units.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it's so fun to hear players speak so strongly of certain openings because it also directly correlates to their style as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you ask someone with a lower APM, it was Syscon playing against Target. That's what the setup was. So if you ask Target to do all of that all at once, it's a little bit less feasible.
Yep. All right. So let's repeat the stakes. So as it stands, if StonePlease just ends with 2 wins, let's say he loses this game, Ganji needs a 2-1 victory over Lix to survive. Okay, so Ganji has to match the same amount of wins from StonePlease. If StonePlease wins this one, Ganji has to sweep Lix, or former platinum player Ganji is relegated out of gold. That's crazy. And then there's also the side narrative that Lix needs wins to potentially win first place in his group, but we could talk more about that once that series begins. So another game, Colin, and another early Rhino or Boar for StonePlease. And we've got Evacuation with Dravidian Japanese. So really flexible infantry, water, archer civilizations.
Yeah, who do you think out of these two players might open Man-at-Arms? Does it feel like it's more of a StonePlease kind of approach, or does it feel like more of a SayMyName kind of approach, or neither?
I mean, it's gotta be StonePlease, dude. It's gotta be StonePlease. I mean, he has played Scout Archer every game, but I just don't think the maps have really suited Man-at-Arms.
Mm-hmm.
So I think getting some army, getting some pressure, and just being the first one to strike has been the theme. And it could be really easy for the Dravidians to get the Man-at-Arms here, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And SayMyName Japanese was his first pick in the draft. So maybe he has something prepared. It would surprise me a little bit, given that he doesn't seem super prepared, but he has been playing Evacuation quite a few times, I'm sure, either in his sets earlier in the rounds or just in practice.
So this is maybe a little unprofessional for me to bring up, but I can't help myself. Someone on their first message ever in my channel says, I bet my dog I could beat T90. Oh, he says, I bet my dog can beat T90 in AoE.
Not a chance.
Okay. I thought he was betting his dog because we're currently thinking about getting a dog. I thought that'd be an easy way for me to get one. All right, bro.
If the dog loses, he joins your family instead.
I guess we gotta see how well mannered this dog is. If he's been grinding AoE all day, I don't think we need another AoE addict in this house. So.
Makes sense as well.
So another thing that I've seen on the topic of taking initiative is the dock placement can be a bit further a bit closer to where the opponent would dock. So StonePlease has gone for your typical dock. I don't know if SayMyName's doing this for a reason, but I've seen some people actually dock more on the longer area of the island That way, you're that much closer to pressure with fire galleys.
Yeah, that would make sense. I'm wondering if Say My Name's just going with the old adage of go build a dock in the corner and you'll get more fish.
That could be it. Yeah, that's true. And there is more fish there. Now, scouts are engaging. It's 21 HP for both. StonePlease actually has a lot to lose now. If he loses that, surviving or not, Say My Name's already relegated. So he's like, I'll take the coin flip. And that's what it'll be. And Say My Name wins the coin flip. So StonePlease could have ran home. He would have been fine. But he wanted it all. And now he doesn't have a scout to see where Say My Name's going. What is Say My Name opening with? How many docks does he have? All the important things you need to have on Evacuation.
Yeah, players can have so much creativity with what they're going to open with on Evacuation. I wonder if StonePlease just saw the cow and he didn't want Say My Name to get the cow. And so he just took the fight. But what I would have done is use the cow to block after I converted it and gotten my scout away.
Hey, listen, that'll happen season 5, all right? Now that you've said it, the cow blocking will become meta, all right?
Yeah, fishing ship blocking is another big thing. If you have fires that are trying to run away or galleys that are trying to run away, and you can block with your fishing ships to make sure that your navy is able to finish the kill.
Especially with Japanese fishing ships are tanks, so you don't even need to use it as a block. You can just sit that bad boy right in the middle of a fight and usually be okay. So another opening for StonePlease where virtually everything is shifted off of food and onto wood and gold. Reminder, though, that there's not a lot of good wood here at this island. So the fact that he hasn't moved to the outside to build his lumber camp is pretty uncommon. Usually what Say My Name is doing is the play, so at least it's more efficient. But it reminds me of Acropolis, where he went like double lumber camp on the top wood, just so he could have the wood as quickly as possible, and so he could flood army as fast as possible as well.
Yeah, and he's going 2 docks, so it does seem like it's going to be a water approach for him. I assume it's galleys. But yeah, meanwhile, Say My Name going out to the better wood, evacuating to the mainland. And he only has 1 cow under his town center versus I can't count how many under StonePlease's town center. So
true.
StonePlease definitely did better. Even if he lost a scout, he did better with the scouting in the early game.
That actually makes a lot of sense, because if you know you have collected that many cows, that fight enables you to get some of them back home, and that is really valuable. The other tiny detail is the laming technique that people use underneath TCs works with full HP scouts, because some of the arrows hit but most miss. With a 3 HP scout now, Say My Name can't steal anything because 1 arrow kills that scout. So yeah, I mean, taking that fight might not have been the worst thing ever for StonePlease when you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and he doesn't have to worry about the scout picking off any villagers that he might have around. I mean, StonePlease is still being very safe. He's walled in his villagers on the dock. And I think that's really the only exposed eco he might have had. He's walling up safely on the bottom side as well.
I'm seeing the Dragonstar influence with the builds now from StonePlease. Dragonstar's been amazing on this map in Platinum. StonePlease and Dragonstar train together. They've been teamed together, so it's quite known. And Dragonstar did this exact same thing. So he walls from his dock to his TC, and it pretty much denies scout opening. Now there's other interesting things. Dragonstar told me, and I want to talk about this, but we should focus on this. Dragonstar told me he's got some stuff hidden. He shared some of those ideas, which will remain secret till it happens. But my favorite words, Dragonstar said, because I said, you might make playoffs, Dragonstar. Don't you want to save some strats? He said, no. It's time to show my hand.
Oh, boy.
I mean, those words, it's time to show my hand. Oh, get me pumped.
That's exciting. Fire Galley from StonePlease is going to find these villagers from Say My Name trying to evacuate across the shallows. I don't know if they get that kill, though. The villager's pathing a little weirdly as it's trying to avoid the fire raining down from above.
Yeah, and I mean, StonePlease went to opposite sides with his fires. So if he doesn't kill that Vill, which he somehow won't,
1
he's
HP.
on 1 HP, he didn't kill the fish.
Yeah.
So the 2 fire opening versus 1 should have led to him killing the fish, but just went 2 different directions there, and it doesn't happen right away.
Yeah, he's being safe, though. He's bringing back the weak fire back to the 2 fires that he has back towards his fish, and he's keeping the other fire in that passing, so it's going to make SayMyName think twice about sending more villagers over. And SayMyName, again, playing safe with the tower on his wood line, just like he did on Acropolis.
You see what this does, though? When you wall that early, it forces the opponent to the outside area, and he hasn't actually taken any of the outside res. Now, that could be bad later on, but essentially, it's very difficult for SayMyName to find value from his scouts right now.
Yeah, I mean, and StonePlease knew that's where he's exposed, so he's sending his archers and his spear over there, sending them separate, which I guess is just for extra scouting to see what his opponent's doing. He's lucky that the spear is going to run into the scouts rather than the archers.
Yeah. Well, he does this because he's so reckless and just... I don't know if reckless is the word, but... because he's always sending army forward, I noticed this in earlier games as well. He will have a lot of instances where there's just one archer and then another archer on their own. But there he did a really good job noticing that. A lot of people don't, and they give up an archer for free.
Yeah, both players actually doing quite a good job because they're both fighting on the top side as well with fires. SayMyName even using a villager to batter down a weak fire.
Oh, man. StonePlease has struggled on the water so far. He has not found the kills he would have wanted, and he produced a lot more fire ships. Now, he will maybe take out the dock, so that's 150 wood gone for SayMyName. But it hasn't been the full water clear, which it could have been so far. But still, he's walled up completely on the main island. He's now walling completely on the crossing, which we have yet to see in any of the groups so far. This is completely new. So he's not evacuating. It's not evacuation. It's... I don't know. What is it? Staycation?
Staycation, exactly. It's hideout. Yeah, this is kind of an odd approach, and I think StonePlease has kind of lost matches by over-investing on water. I think that might not be in his retinue. He might not have as much experience on these hybrid maps and knowing when to invest in water still or when to switch over to land. He is at least expanding to the hunt that's on the mainland.
Oh, man. I mean, after that fight and after the water hold from SayMyName, did you guys just hear a let's go from Sweden somewhere? Because I'm pretty sure I heard it. I think that was Ganji, bro. Ganji is like glued to the screen right now. He's just like, SayMyName, please get a win. I don't want to have to 3-0 licks. Please get a win.
Yeah, things are looking pretty good. I think SayMyName's approach, despite not getting, neither player really got that early pressure they were looking for with their land military versus the Navy. But I think StonePlease's military might be a little bit scalable, so you might have a slight edge there. But yeah, resource collected is also slightly in his favor because of the Japanese
fishing ships. Isn't it wild, though, that StonePlease just built a mill a second ago and that he didn't farm this entire time? The amount of cows that he's had has carried him so hard with the food income.
Right, yeah, I said he was Japanese, but no, he's Dravidians. I was completely wrong. I was switching them up. I guess maybe that's why he wanted to go for the heavy fish approach or heavy navy approach, because he wants to deny those Japanese faster collecting fishing ships.
I would really like to see SayMyName maybe consider some outposting in the main island, the starting island, because this is tough. It's hard for you to know where you can do damage to your opponent, and this is StonePlease. Every single game, he's been going double range, crazy archers on you. You can't be surprised by anything. I think him going to stone right now is probably thinking about towers.
Yeah, SayMyName only sees the one range, but he should expect it from StonePlease, that there's going to be a lot of pressure. And sometimes you can get caught out and think, oh, my opponent's walled, that means he's not playing through the middle. And in this case, it looks like that might be the case, because StonePlease continues to wall, and he's now taking the time to evacuate almost all of his economy to the mainland.
Really nice defense on water from SayMyName. He's got some weak ships that he probably needs to repair up. Now, that's way easier said than done. A lot of people, not at this level, but average players are just going to patrol in anyways and probably eat a demo shot. But he could win water, maintain his fishing ship lead. He has farms. His opponent does not. If SayMyName can hold in early Castle Age and get a bit of a boom going, I think this could be really good for him.
Yeah, this fire galley on the shallows seems like a decent idea, but it hasn't actually been able to get any kills yet.
Yep. And Look at walls now from StonePlease. To the left side. That's smart. I like the amount of walling he's done. It gives you a little bit more time to react to things. And that's something SayMyName doesn't have, right? He doesn't have full vision on the starting island. He is moving forward with some skirms now on the evacuation area, and that's actually a really nice thing to see. He'll lose his army. That's not good. But if he could just look there and see what the army is and the fact that it's there, that tells him what he needs to do, that he has a bit of time maybe for the TC, and then Siege Workshop feels natural.
Yeah, he knows what to address when he's now getting up to Castle Age, going for War Galley, both players are. And StonePlease is now saying, okay, this is my time to go forward before SayMyName can make any changes to his military production now that he has crossbow and bodkin arrow.
The War Galley upgrade's really important here because this demo, there's 2 demos. And if these demos have to be used before that upgrade, there's a big difference in how they engage. I think you actually need to be patient with it. And yeah, dude, StonePlease is waiting. SayMyName's like, this is great for me. This is great for me. Oh, he doesn't have upgrades. And then he's looking somewhere else. And then suddenly upgrades are in and there's another demo behind.
Yes, good job to save the demo and good job for SayMyName to split. But I don't know if his attention's still going to be on the fight here. He's splitting again. And this is when you don't actually use the demo, according to what Cito tells players when they're playing water, is you force the split and then you're able to target one individual fire that's split off from the rest of the mass and win the fire fight that way. But it looks like Defender's advantage is going to come in here from SayMyName.
Yep, I think this is where SayMyName's transitioning his eco a bit. He's got skirms because he knows there could be crossbowmen. He still seems extremely paranoid. I'm very surprised that a player of his caliber who's been playing this long hasn't researched Town Watch yet. He's in the dark in the middle, for example. Those houses would give you so much extra vision. But I'm also surprised that StonePlease hasn't moved forward yet. It took him a long time to do so, and now his army is going to find a TC from SayMyName.
Yeah, just patrolling forward. SayMyName hasn't responded, though, yet. I guess he's fighting in quite a few different areas, trying to pull fires back to safety, trying to pick off weak vills as they're transitioning across. The lumber camp on StonePlease's original island is looking really, really rough.
Yeah, StonePlease, he went from not evacuating, and now he's going to have to evacuate so much more, it seems. But I love the fact that he's going siege in this area. He went siege really early. This is one of 2 mangonels coming forward. And SayMyName's skirms, they were in the other area of the map. They had to respect that the crossbows could come that direction. So now he has to react, and he'll see the mangonel, and he'll need his own mangonel as well.
He does have that weak scout from earlier. I believe it's the same. Oh, no, it's a different scout than earlier, but it will find the mangonel and might keep it from coming across and joining up with these Expo. There was the spear there, but yeah.
Again, I can hear Ganji right now. Ganji's like, please, 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 please. Oh, that's such amazing value.
And now the mangonel is all on its own, so it needs to pull back, else, you know, villagers come and try to batter it down.
Yeah. Now, water is still something to focus on. There's a lot more ships for StonePlease. He has many of them on the crossings, though. So he isn't killing the fish. I actually think the fish are less of a priority than the crossings now, though. So that will become a big factor. SayMyName sees the mangonel. He's actually going to move into the middle with the skirms. This could be good. If he camps the middle of the map, he essentially can stop any of the reinforcements from StonePlease like that scout did.
But he doesn't seem confident, given that this is a very similar army composition as what he's seen in the previous 2 games.
Yeah.
It almost feels like, yeah, these civs works a little bit better for StonePlease's types of play. Though he might win the mangonel fight here.
Oh, man. Oh, this could be huge. Can he get it?
Nice.
That's beautiful for SayMyName. He's got fully armored skirms. He defends. He has all his siege now. And he was just about to get the stone to drop a castle. This could be a forward castle now. If you think that engagement's good enough, you could go forward castle your opponent's face. And, I mean, I wouldn't. I'm a safe castle type of guy. But I've seen Doubt do it a couple times so far.
Yeah, there is that possibility. Yeah, like you said, he has elite skirm. He has pretty much all the counter. He might just be wondering, are the Dravidians adding some sort of stable units? They don't get knights, But is there
Yep.
something that could come and defeat all of my skirmishers and my mangonel?
I really like the position for Say My Name. I love the castle. That's more along the lines of the castle that you're gonna want to go for. I also love the 4th TC. I mean, neither player really has the resources to click up the imp anytime soon. You've made a lot of skirms. There's a lot to stabilize here, so investing into Castle Age a bit longer is the good play, in my opinion. He's going to lose water on the outside, though, so important he keeps an eye on that.
Yeah, there's very little. I mean, he's trying to queue up more fires now. He's thinking like, yeah, the fish are very important to keep these town centers producing. I would really like to see Say My Name wall up that left side to funnel all the units into his castle.
Yeah, I like that idea. That and outposts, like we said, just to get vision at least. He did build some outposts through the middle, and there's relics and gold there, which can be valuable. He's also still producing some more fires to not fully give up on water. It's been lovely from Say My Name with the whole water aspect, because he should have lost it, but he kept taking favorable engagements with lesser numbers, and he will always produce that extra ship to not give StonePlease the control.
Yeah, I mean, both these players had to play a lot of migration to get through Silver League, to get into Gold League. So maybe that's the only reason that Say My Name is able to stay on here, given that he's probably practicing a little bit less than some of these other players.
The resources are looking pretty good for Say My Name to click up the imp. Now, is there a civ that you prefer an imp here? Or is it pretty close in your mind?
I think it's Japanese. Ooh. I think it's Japanese early imp, maybe Dravidian's late imp. Okay. But it's really tricky. I think it could go either way, and it might just come down to who has relics, though neither player collecting relics. And we haven't really seen much relic collection from either player in this series.
Yeah, I mean, Japanese maybe have a little bit more offensive power with the cav archers, and that helps their mobility. But elephant archer and bombard cannon and faster firing skirms all really valuable for the Dravidian. So I think it's pretty close as well, and I don't think it's clear one way or the other with these civs.
Yeah, I wonder if it goes into some sort of infantry and gunpowder mix, since both of them do get hand cannon.
Yep. Yeah, I think you lost you for half a second, but I think you're back now.
Yeah, my game completely crashed, so I'll let you cast, and I'll come back into it in a moment.
All good, all good. Maybe just internet dropped out for a sec. Well, Say My Name's on the way to Imp, 2 minutes away. He's already relegated, but this is still $20 is $20, and he wants to go out with a little bit of pride, reminding everyone the skill that he has. He's played well. The population's even. He'll see the siege from StonePlease and back off, but he's now going for a castle in the middle. So he'll secure those golds and those relics, and has the castle on the other side. And still, StonePlease hasn't clicked up here. I imagine you're probably going to be zooming in for a little bit here. I really wish I would have saved the which civ is better question for this moment. But Colin, whenever you're good, dude, you could hop in. I'm still down to ask you stuff, and we can still cast. But if you want to wait for the game to fly up, that's fine too.
No, I'm so full of Age of Empires 2 trivia, and I am getting back to the game in a moment.
Oh,
I do. One thing I'll sell out real quick is I do these connection quizzes every Wednesday, or just about every Wednesday, where you try to connect different parts of Age of Empires 2 trivia together into 4 separate categories.
okay.
So yeah, if you give me any Civ questions while my game reboots, I'm happy to throw an answer back at you.
You just put yourself under so much pressure, dude. I've got thousands of people that can give you trivia questions. Okay, all right. You know what? I don't know. I'm actually not the best at this, but if you ever want to invite me on for that, dude, I'd be super down.
Okay,
Just
for
so
sure.
I look stupid, you know. I don't know what StonePlease is supposed to do over the next 2.5 minutes to recover here, because Say My Name, they're both going skirms. Say My Name has more skirms. Say My Name is skirms that could be used on both sides. Say My Name is now massing trebs. StonePlease is going to have to hold for the next 2 minutes against superior army, superior eco, and siege. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I don't see what he would be able to do in that kind of situation. And I think Japanese want to be on cav archers, but against the Dravidian skirms, that'd be really, really rough.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Which civilization has a bonus and a unique tech that do exactly the same task? I don't even know the answer, so
Is that from chat?
I it's from chat. Yep.
Ah, that's. I'm lost on that one.
They're saying Burmese.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of these two. Yeah, Burmese have extra armor to their elephants, and then they can get Howdah to get even more armor.
Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely knew that. Wow, what a way to finish that from Say My Name. I mean, respect to him. He's already relegated. The first two games he kind of got stomped, but man, he looked good here. This was supposed to be StonePlease's home map. This was supposed to be the 3-0 for StonePlease, but now he's not guaranteed safety. If Ganji gets 2 wins against Licks, Ganji survives, and then StonePlease is down. So probably the better result for the drama for the day, which is kind of what I wanted. And a fun series there, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed casting that. Appreciate the opportunity, 290.